Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dazer. I'm here with my Dami Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you. I think we should start today by talking about something new that's in the media, and I'm not sure if... I honestly don't know if you've heard about this or not. You'll have to let me know. Have you ever heard of the term resistant starch?
No.
Yeah, me neither. It's a relatively new term, but scientists all over the place are trying to figure out how to maximize it, how to use it. Basically, it's a starch that's in many different grains that tastes like a starch, but is not digestible by the body. So it's like it tastes like a soluble fiber, like a whole grain.
Like the fiber that starts with a K?
Like a konjac.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar to konjac. But tastes great, but is not digested and adds no caloric value to the meals.
So why don't we know about it?
Well, it's in many different carbohydrates that we know and love. Potatoes, rice. Just a second here, I'll pull up the list. There's just so many things that it's in. But it's not normally maximized in food. Or in the food that we eat. So researchers have determined that if you cook grains or starches a different way, this resistant starch molecule is promoted and there becomes more of it consistent in the food.
What's the different way?
So
soaking?
All you have to do, slower cooking with a little bit of oil, you let the carbohydrate cool completely. And then the ratio of resistant starch goes up sometimes to above 50%. So the food tastes the same, but it has less of a caloric impact. This is another part of the discussion, that not all calories are equal, and if you're using a calorie chart to measure the food that you're consuming, it's not going to be that accurate because cooking the food changes how things are. So basically, there isn't a formula out there for how to do this, and companies, of course, are trying to make carbohydrate-rich foods that don't have high calorie, but they're currently very expensive. But the point is, if you cook something like brown rice, and then you let it cool completely, once it's cooled, it's going to have a higher ratio of a molecule called resistant starch. It's going to taste the same, but it's going to have less calories. It's really interesting. So this brings up the idea of different ways to balance blood sugar and how beneficial that can be, not only in weight loss, but in type 2 diabetes and in overall healthy lifestyle. And there's so many ways to do that. You mentioned one, konjac root, which is the main ingredient in, I think it's called konjac, PGX.
Yeah, but there's also all those pastas and rices with it.
Which ones are those?
I don't know the name. It's like Miracle Noodle or something like that.
Yeah.
It's the packages they get.
Those are great. Those are probably very similar to what this is. Well, I mean, I know that in that's their goal, really, is that you can have some carbohydrate without having the...
Well, the Miracle Noodle things, it's 0 calories.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I don't use it a lot because I don't know. I don't feel steady about it yet, but I use it once in a while.
No, I agree, and that's how this whole idea is going to come forward as well. These things are going to be made in a lab and then put into packaged foods.
Yeah, I'm not big on that, but if we can just alter the way we consume things and maybe it just has a better impact on the body, that'd be nice. I mean, I just like any studies that come out that make food less scary for people, especially carbohydrates. We were so brainwashed by the Atkins movement. And carbohydrates are so important for mood balancing, for your hormonal health, for your cognitive function. It's your brain needs carbs
exactly
to function, needs sugar.
Yeah, that's how it operates.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why you get foggy brain when you go on a low carb diet.
Right.
You're literally starving your brain.
After the first couple days.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So this I got from Prevention Magazine blog, and they are doing a big series of articles on it. And the exciting thing is, like you said, not about eating packaged foods, but eventually there's going to be recipes for how to manipulate your brown rice, how to manipulate your potatoes.
Doesn't even sound like that big of a deal.
It's really not.
I love it too because I'm so big on not. I mean, I don't reheat much. You know me.
Exactly.
I don't.
So that's the other thing. We were talking about microwaves a few days ago, and microwaving foods is going to bring out much less resistant starch molecules than slow cooking.
Yeah, microwaving is, if you can avoid it.
Yeah. But that's what they found. I mean, they found that these grains can adapt with a long cook.
Emailed me after that conversation and was like, I just don't get it. I have, 4 children and microwave is my survival tool. How do you reheat food? And the truth of the matter is, every time I make food, I make extra. Mm-hmm. That's just the easiest tip I have. When I make quinoa, I make 2 days worth of quinoa. When I make brown rice, I make a few days worth. When I make potatoes, all those things, I always make more. And then to reheat, we use the stovetop or the oven.
Yeah. Depending
on what the food is and what's the best way to heat it. And
I don't feel like it takes that long.
It really doesn't. It's just a mind shift. It's the same thing as, you have to brush your teeth every day. And if you calculated that time, it does take time. But it's just, you have to surrender to, if you want to be healthier and feel good and do what's best for yourself, it's not that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. It really isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to the whole... The other day, we had this where I was like, if I heat it on the stove, it's going to take forever. And then you were like, just turn the stove on and see. Mm-hmm. You turn it on and it was like, 90 seconds.
Yeah,
it was warm enough. So these resistant starches is not only going to be beneficial for blood sugar regulation and high insulin levels, but it's also going to be helpful for the digestive tract because you're going to get nice, healthy fiber that's going to take toxins out with detox. It's going to be excellent for bowel movements. Good for the immune system because it promotes healthy probiotics because then you get lots of fiber rather than going on a no carb diet. Mm-hmm. With this, if the recipes come out and they're good and it shows that you can increase the resistant starch molecules by say 50%, then people are going to get lots and lots more healthy carbohydrates and they're going to get a little bit of sugar for the brain function.
Right.
Oh, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
The next story of the day is about exercise. We have these functional MRI machines now, and we can tell so many new things about the brain that we didn't know before. So a recent study came out about exercise and why is it good in depression? Why is it good in anxiety? What does it do? So they tested brain levels of certain neurotransmitters before and after exercise, and they found that exercise increased GABA and glutamate in a major way. So they tested pre-exercise levels, post-exercise levels. Exercise was shown to increase GABA and glutamate, and then after the course of a few days, it would come back down. So basically, we're seeing a neurotransmitter manipulation just based on breaking a sweat, getting your blood going, which is excellent to know because we've known that exercise is good in depression, but why and how and all these questions come up, and is it a good replacement for medications? And shows that it is. So it's really exciting. I know that you've had tons of experience with recommending exercise for people who are going through things or, specifically on the anxiety spectrum.
Yeah, it's not to say that medication isn't needed in any way.
No.
Because it's there for a reason and it's helped people heal. So we're not saying that, but exercise, especially like with things that don't need to be medicated especially, and then with things that do need to be medicated, adding that in helps.
Right.
But exercise can actually help alleviate anxiety very easily.
Well, and it's like you said, I don't have a problem with people who antidepressants are working for them. I think that's excellent, but there's a huge population where they don't work.
Well, it's not just that. I think that we've abused them. That's the other thing.
And we're just finding out about some of the negative long-term consequences of using them with cellular burnout in the brain and an inability to come off them and what vitamins are depleted and all these things come up. So GABA and glutamate are important neurotransmitters for connections in the brain, for keeping the different regions of the brain connected. And GABA is important as it's an inhibitory molecule. It's helpful for inhibiting, excess excess activity in the brain, which obviously can be associated with anxiety. So I don't know. It's just really exciting to see the changes. This is really important for that category of people who are under 25 who need to go on some sort of therapy for depression because antidepressants have worse consequences, worse side effects for those who are under 25. And exercise is a simple tool.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Really exciting. The next story, I just want to bring this up really quickly because, we had a conversation about Weight Watchers a few weeks ago, and, how we felt about the changes they've made and where things are going. And I just want to bring up some news that came out this morning about their stock and how it has plummeted in such a major way since they've made their recent changes. So,
what are their recent changes?
Well, they added Oprah. But the company was going through a major transition at the time. We talked about how Oprah is now a 10% owner in the company, and we talked about their program a bit and how we feel about it compared with some other programs out there. But really, it's the society is sort of agreeing with some of the things we're saying, and their numbers are not climbing like they anticipated they would. They jumped on one day when Oprah said about how much weight she had lost, but since then they've gone back down to normal. So they're not. It's not like it's changing the company in a way that they expected it to.
Well, the reality is people get defensive and whatever, and I've never said that it doesn't work for some people when you manipulate it and use it properly for you. But Weight Watchers packages and sells crap food and says it's healthy. That's another thing. Yeah. And anybody, most of the things that they have packaged shouldn't be for human consumption. End of story. So, no, I don't have respect for that at all. But the other thing is I tend to believe it was more the baby boomer generation that used Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
And kind of cycled through it for 20 years. Go off it, go on it, go off it, go on it, kind of. And I don't feel it has the same kind of hold with millennials. No,
it doesn't. Well, as well as that generation at the moment. It's every category of people, it's declining numbers because people aren't interested in packaged foods.
Not interested in packaged foods, and you don't have to eat packaged foods on Weight Watchers. So
no, they have a new program about
healthy or whatever. Yeah. But the thing is that we have all that education accessible at our fingertips for free. And then if you're looking for added guidance, it's not the way.
No, much better to have a one-on-one coach like yourself. Over the course of 3 or 4 months, to have a personal one-on-one coach, you actually save money. Right? Which is incredible because you don't get that with their program.
No.
Yeah, so I'm
not surprised, but I'm kind of surprised because Oprah is such a heavy hitter. It seems like whatever she touches turns to gold.
And the stock climbed to I think something like $27 in January, which was expected because January is the big month for weight loss, and they're doing this new promotion for their new program. And Oprah has new weight loss results, and then but shortly thereafter it went back down to $11, which is a major decline. Yeah. So, it speaks to people looking for one-on-one coaching, people looking for,
help with emotional eating, personal, help with dealing. The thing is, we can read the studies. We know a lot of people have the basic education about healthy food, so they don't really need to count points.
Right.
They don't.
I would say they don't really need. They do not need to.
No, it's not. People are more interested in building that foundation of health and then, losing weight that way. Exactly. I really believe.
I had a major conversation the other day about this mindlessly slim. And I think that's something that's becoming more and more popular. There's an easier way of living, an easier way of losing weight and
yeah, not overcomplicating it, not being chained to any certain learning how to have portion control, learning how to heal from emotional eating, and then living your life.
Exactly.
I think that's the way to go.
I've got another study to go over today. Today's sort of a mixed bag, but I kind of like it.
Sure.
I kind of like it. So this study is about omega-3s.
You love some omega-3s.
I love some omega-3s research. Of course, it gets me going.
Oh.
That's the most geekiest thing I've ever said, I think. So omega-3s are back in the news. There was, major debate about omega-3s a few years ago because a long-term study came out that said they're useless in cardiovascular disease. They're useless in anything to do with the blood system. They're useless with reducing cholesterol and all these things. But the study was only using 1 or 1.5 grams of fish oils a day, which any naturopath would tell you is an extremely low dose and isn't really effective for anything. Well, some news came out this week that 1 gram of fish oils is really beneficial for something, and it's something that's very powerful. In postmenopausal women who are in the obese category, so a BMI of 29, 1 gram of fish oils a day significantly reduces breast cancer chance.
Wow.
Or breast cancer risk.
Wow.
So that's usually 1 cap of a high-quality fish oil.
And that's the other thing to discuss, quality.
Definitely, when it comes to fish oil.
It's the same with all fish right now. If you eat fish, you should be very aware of the quality.
Yes, you have to keep an eye out for it. And do a bit of background or get some advice from someone who has done tons of research in this category. In my practice, I use Ascenta, which is Nutri-C. I use it mostly. I have a few other companies I use, but I use them a lot. Their products are easy to use, and the doses are easy, and the mercury level is 0.
And what's the name of the vegan?
They have a vegan option.
Yeah.
But in terms of vegan omega-3s, you're getting a molecule that's 1 step up from DHA and EPA, the 2 molecules you need for most of the anti-inflammatory effects. So the body has to do a conversion, which most people do, no problem. But in terms of straight fish oil, we're usually looking for a combined dosage of EPA and DHA, depending on what you're using it for. They found in this study that the higher the blood levels of DHA went in women who are postmenopausal and obese, if the blood levels reach a certain point, then their risk of breast cancer was significantly reduced.
That's great.
Oh, it's excellent news because taking 1 capsule of fish oil a day or eating fish a certain number of times per week is quite simple. And we're always trying to find ways to prevent cancer.
Definitely.
I mean, cancer prevention is a huge topic to cover, but we're usually focused on reducing stress, increasing healthy lifestyle choices like food and exercise. But I can't say enough about the anti-inflammatory, choices you need to make to reduce your cancer risk.
100%.
And fish oils play a major role in that. In terms of other anti-inflammatories, we talked about exercise a lot as a potent anti-inflammatory. Also, curcumin is a good one. That is a molecule that comes from turmeric.
Yes.
And there's good research for all these things.
It's wonderful.
It's so wonderful to hear.
It is.
You don't take fish oils.
No.
As a strict vegan.
I'm not a strict vegan, but you think I am.
Well, you're a strict vegan compared to myself.
Because you're not a vegan?
Well, sometimes. This is the thing with titles. We have a real issue with titles.
Yeah, titles. I mean, the reason I don't talk much about being a vegan publicly is because I'm really sad that there's a certain percentage of the, quote, vegan community that spends more time bashing and nitpicking each other than they do uplifting and supporting change.
Such a waste of time.
Yeah, and I'm not one of those people. I don't judge people. Obviously, I want everyone to live a cruelty-free lifestyle, but I think that we're all on our own journeys. I think we all wake up at different times. I think we all do what we have to do at certain times, and I don't think judging someone or hating on another person makes animals' lives better. I just don't. I think there's another way. I think there's a gentle way. I think there's a way to lead a cruelty-free lifestyle, and then people are like, oh my gosh, she looks really healthy. She seems so peaceful. My gosh, her skin glows. She's light on her feet, whatever. And then people become interested. Well, what do you do? And then you can say what you do. And then if someone wants to eliminate, most of the meat in their life, but still keep fish, who am I to judge that? Right? I think that we need to take that religious dogma out of things. I find it very bizarre. And I understand there are times where, vegans that are out there, spreading the truth have to call out big companies or have to, and it does seem vicious sometimes, but I don't get the personally attacking individuals that, like I saw the other day. There's this girl that's transforming online into a vegan lifestyle, and she used the term that she's a vegan. But then someone saw in a video that she had a leather purse. And literally the hate that she received. And that doesn't make sense. Maybe she's not woken up to that yet. And who are these individuals that are saying horrendous, hateful, mean things to her? Why is that? How is that any different than back in the day if you didn't follow the Bible in a certain religion in a specific way, then you were chastised and stones were thrown at you? Like, it doesn't make sense. You're promoting a cruelty-free lifestyle and being viciously cruel to someone that obviously is trying to make effort. It's different. If she was out, hunting and skinning animals herself and was that aware of what she was doing. Like, not everyone wakes up at the same time. And we've been raised in a culture that, like, we don't realize how cruel our leather goods are. So maybe gently letting someone know. That's where I come from.
Yeah.
I don't think that
I love that stance.
Yeah, I'm not into that aggressive meanness. I think it's very off-putting, and I don't associate with anyone that
I don't think it's
helping.
I don't think it's helping the cause either. I think you're exactly right.
I think it's horrible. Anyway, back to you. The only things you do rotate into your diet sometimes are eggs and fish.
Definitely.
And that's where you're at.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll go weeks without those things.
And cheese at Christmas.
Oh my gosh, the cheese at Christmas.
Don't forget the cheese at Christmas.
Christmas cheese for David, I don't know. But I don't participate in those things.
And your focus has been plant forward. And it's been really powerful. And I think that it doesn't matter if you're, a vegan or not. Promoting a plant forward lifestyle is heavily contributes to this anti-inflammatory idea and anti-inflammatory lifestyle and prevention of diseases.
Yeah, and I'm more on the affirmation side than I'll ever be on the, I will say things, obviously, if it rings true to me and I think something's cruel. I'm not, sitting in the corner like a mouse, but I don't personally tear down other people especially people that are making efforts. We all make mistakes. It's no different to me when I see these vegans tearing down someone that's trying, like, so that she's going to be turned off. And she could go back to meat. Like, she's doing good.
Well, she won't want to be part of the community if the community is going to...
She's going to be secretive about the community, and it could drive her back into eating meat products, because why would you want to associate with a group of people that are so mean? And that if you're not perfect, they cast you off. That's bizarre. It's no different to me than if you're in a certain religion, and then if you don't follow it exactly, then they cast you... It's so medieval and to me, unintelligent. We should be gently waking people up and encouraging everyone to do steps forward. I don't get this beating up people. I really don't understand it.
Oh, it's not effective.
It's not effective in history. It's never worked.
No.
So why... And also...
It worked for periods of time and then completely collapsed.
I find it very ironic that, okay, so say you are perfect in the way that you eat, in your cruelty-free way, that you don't purchase animal products or consume them. But, like, in your spiritual side, what if someone that was highly spiritual came in and started attacking you for obviously the projection, cruelty, and negativity you're putting into the world? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the lifestyles don't correspond.
It doesn't make sense. It just seems like suppressed anger. It seems like you're trying to be a superior human instead of elevate and love the world into a better place.
So the whole community isn't like this. It's just,
No. I just see it, so I don't like associating with it.
No. So if you're trying to make changes to become, more on the vegan side or more on the plant-forward side, it's really about increasing your plant consumption,
Being a kind, decent human to animals as much as other humans, I think, is really important. And somehow that message has been lost. I don't understand it. It's picking and choosing. So, for me, I'm more... My focus is on food that makes me feel full of vitality.
Yes.
Nutrient-dense food, a variety of foods. I'm not much into really packaged vegan anything. If I go for something that would be like a junk treat for me, then obviously it's packaged vegan. Maybe. Usually not. But, just eating a wide variety of beautiful, healthy foods.
Exactly.
But yeah, I that's why I don't really
No, thank you for that, because it's important to go over, because I think that people see it quite often.
Well, and I think people get into the lifestyle, and I think you hide in the shadows because you're kind of nervous, because you're like, gosh, these people just, if you mess up, if you step outside of, if I make the wrong choice, if I buy the wrong lip liner, and then I happen to tell someone, they may attack me and call me all these horrible names, and like, how weird.
Yeah, gosh, I'd rather eat meat than be scrutinized for...
Or I'd rather just stay blind to, like, cruelty-free makeup or whatever. Like, whatever the thing is. So, I'm here to be, like, a gentle community.
Nice, I love it.
I like gentle. We're all waking up at a different time. And I don't want people to be scared to ask questions. Because if I ever witnessed any of this, I would never ask anyone anything. If I was just starting out as a vegan and I was like, okay, like I'm starting to look into makeup companies, I'd love like a good list of what I could use that's cruelty-free and vegan, blah, blah, blah. I would never ask one of these people because they'd be like, well, you don't know yet? What have you been using, you animal killer? Like, it's like, whoa, like, calm down. Yeah. You know, I just don't believe in it. You know, and like I said, like, unless you came out of the womb and your whole life have just lived this impeccable, you know, white light surrounded angel existence, you have no right to judge another human. You know?
So true.
And again, we're all here to guide each other home. And who do you want to go with? The guy that's sitting there going, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're an animal killer. Or do you want to go with someone that's like, yeah, let's try it out. Here's what I love. Do you want to try this? Like sharing things back and forth. That's just my view.
Oh, I think it's excellent. I love it.
I mean, we couldn't be together if I was a mean...
No, that's
vegan.
true.
That's why I always find
if you're a mean vegan, we wouldn't be,
So when you say I'm a strict vegan, what are you saying? You're saying I just never consume animal products.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. And you wouldn't, not even for the treat.
No.
It's, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a mixed bag episode, but lots of good nuggets for the day.
Definitely.
That's Healthy Rebel Radio. Have a great day, and thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damihealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.